What's up, boys and girls? It's Brendan from Market Makers, your home for Wyckoff and Advanced Fibonacci TA. Guys, we got our pump that we've been talking about for 2 weeks. Now, this is not the pump. This is the pump to exit our Wyckoff accumulation range, okay? Now, we're looking to establish a base. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to see on this video, okay? And if you're not in a trade now, if you're not in the long, if you weren't able to buy when I was telling you guys you could buy the bottom of these waves, looking for this move up, I'm going to show you another opportunity you will have to enter a trade as well, okay? Now guys, real quick, if you want to hit that join button beneath the video, you can come join our Discord trading group. You will get trade signals, education from me and my professional staff, as well as a fantastic community. And guys, I'm trading all these cryptos on BITGET. That link in the video description. No KYC, no VPN, no country restrictions. Check out BITGET. Let's look at what we have going on here. Guys, I just drove back from the city to my ranch. I was visiting my daughter, and I like to listen to a lot of, catch up with some different YouTubers to see if I'm missing anything, right, in my TA. Now, a lot of guys are super surprised about this, okay? They're super surprised about this. They're posting video, thumbnails like, oh my God, crazy Bitcoin pump. What next? Well, if you've been watching this channel, this is almost 2 weeks of accumulation. We've been predicting this move up, okay? And the way this worked out here in this trading range is you actually got up here via a spring, okay? And a Wyckoff trading range here in accumulation, we basically got a down thrust and we sprung up, okay? That's what happened here. I told you with Bitcoin being so volatile, it didn't even bother to come down to test this bottom trading range again. And we did exactly what I wanted to see us do, which is walk up the Gann line and pump up. And now it's retracing. Now, what it has to do, and I'm going to show you this here on natural gas, okay? What it has to do, as we've been talking about on this show, is it has to hold this base, okay? It has to hold this base, at which point you will see upward momentum if the bullishness is to continue, okay? Here on natural gas, I can show you this right here. So natural gas is this exact same move, right? This is Wyckoff, guys. This is so important to understand how money moves through the market. So you have your trading range. Here's your buying climax candle. Here's your test of your bottom here. And then you come back up for a secondary test and you come up with an up thrust, a sign of weakness, get a down thrust, a sign of strength. And this is exactly where Bitcoin is right now, is right here, okay? You just exited your Wyckoff trading range, and now what you want to see happen is hold this base. You can come into the trading range. I'm going to show you this on Fibs. You can come into the trading range, but you need to hold this base. And guys, just in TA, basic concept here, right? What is this? It's a higher low, right? It's a higher low. You want to hold this base so you can propel upward with bullish momentum, okay? You use your volume indicators for that. You can use your MACD, Shande, whatever you're using to show momentum, volume breakout. This is where we are with Bitcoin right now as we penetrated the ceiling, and we're going to roll down some, okay? It's going to freak a lot of people out. You're going to roll down some, make a cup type pattern, and break out. And I'm going to show you how you could possibly trade this. Now, what you have right now on Bitcoin on the 4-hour and 8-hour is basically just one candle. We don't know where this is going to come down to. I mean, looking at it right now, you want to try to hold that Wyckoff ceiling. This is a daily time frame. Maybe come down to this 382 or just below it and make your cup, right? So we don't have a lot of candles here yet. We'll look at this on smaller time frames. But your basic concept here is once you have this cup type pattern established, you can trade. If you're not in a trade because you didn't buy at the bottom of the wave and you didn't set a trigger order for a breakout, one thing you can do is look at this, and when you see where the cup retraces to, when you find your support base, okay, you can set a buy order, a trigger order for a breakout. You can set it up a little bit higher. Your cup's down here. Use a wick from a prior candle. And again, I'm showing you a natural gas because we don't have these candles yet on Bitcoin, okay? And you can use a higher wick, and you want to see a breakout, and you can see the demand here on the candle, and this was a push up, okay? So if we look at this, let's go back to Bitcoin. Well, actually, let's go to the DXY. Let's set the stage because today the markets were closed because of Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. And, Today was Memorial Day, but CFD exchanges, we're still trading around the world. The DXY, just like we were talking about, guys, 100 spot 900. Here's strong support. I told you this is distribution back when we were up here for our up thrust, and we fell down through the up thrust. And this is good for crypto and good for equities and all of those markets here on the pre-markets, and even though the U.S. was closed, you're able to trade these equities on CFD exchanges. They were all open today, okay? And they're all making use of this. And if you see, they're all doing the same thing. You see the Wyckoff trading range, you got up above it, and you want to hold the support and then look for a breakout to the upside. Now, the markets, we'll see when they open tomorrow if they're going to stay bullish, if there's going to be profit taking. Hopefully, there will not be a whipsaw like in some of these other cases here when we've made a trading range. You just get a whipsaw and then further price declination. You got above your Wyckoff trading range here on the NASDAQ. Very important. This is tech, which Bitcoin tracks very closely to, NASDAQ and a Russell, and you want to see a breakout, okay? Broader market, let's look at, well, here's the NASDAQ on the 8-hour. You can see this a little bit better. I mean, you see what it's doing? You pumped up out of your Wyckoff trading range. You got a spring down here off the base, pumped up, and now you're looking to do a pullback. Now, Wyckoff, when he interviewed Jesse Livermore, they call this the Livermore pivot, okay? Because what it does here, when you see it, here on natural gas, okay, Livermore pivot. This is Jesse Livermore's favorite place to trade, was that pullback after a breakout. So that's the Livermore pivot. Jesse Livermore, boy plunger of Wall Street, the first billionaire trader. He made over $1 billion shorting the market in the 1929 crash. And tragic story. I'll tell you guys about him sometime. But interesting story. I shouldn't just say tragic. It is very interesting. But let's look at the SPX, the broader market. Same thing. It's a busy chart here because I got a lot of stuff going on, but I'm tracking these markets very closely. But you can see in white your Wyckoff trading range, pumped up through it, and now you're doing your pullback, okay? You're doing your pullback. You want to make that cup type base and move up for future gains. If you do not make that cup, that is when you see failure and you fall back through your trading range, okay? And I can show you that once again here on natural gas. If you pump up outside of your Wyckoff trading range and you do not make this cup, you attempted to here with one candle and you just gave way, you will fall back into your trading range, okay? This is a successful breakout, your LPS, last point of support before a breakout, a move up, okay? And that's what we're looking for in Bitcoin. And if we look at let's look at some indicators here on the daily before I flip to the smaller time frames. So if we look at the daily, and then let's look at our Ichi. We're going to have a lot of room still for some moves here on the daily with the Ichi. Throw the Ichi on here. Did I not click the button? There it goes. And you can see you have a gap here, right? So you can make progress. Remember, my first real lower target that I'm looking at, I mean, yes, we do have to beat 0.5 at 32,991, the 618 at 34,798. This is my first real lower target that I would like to at least get to, but I do want to see this go up to 40,000 for my weekly time frame, okay? And that's Ichi. And then let's look at a couple of things here really quickly. Let's go to the smaller time frames because there's more candles. And on the daily, we did get a bar finally broke out above the, this is still low volume for this size bar, as you can see here in trend, right? I mean, you did get above your moving average, but it's still not a big volume bar. So this is lower volume because it is a holiday in the U.S. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with the markets. Nothing's oversold. Your volatility, now this is key. Here on the daily time frame, this is still heavily contracted. It is just now starting to peak open a little bit. If you see, you can get very big volatility gaps here. So this would be really good. If we can hold this base and move up, that will be a good thing to do. And let's go ahead to the 8-hour time frame where I do a lot of my trading. Here on the 8-hour time frame, same concept, guys. We don't know where this base will come down to. One thing you can do, you can grab a fib retracement. Now, you could grab from this selling climax candle, but that's so far down, and we have a very defined trading range, as you guys know, which is why we mini-coughed this, right? We tightened up this white cough. So I'm going to use this swing low here. Pull it up to the top of that candle, and you can see that your 382 is just inside just inside the Wyckoff trading range and below the 382. Now you did flip this 382 and it was resistance and it should now be support. So really you want to see price hold this range, okay? You want to see it hold between these two 382s at least, maybe get some wicks down, whatever. But you want to see it hold this higher low, because there's your low, this would be your higher low, this is your cup type pattern. Get that bullish momentum and get your breakout, okay? And again, we don't have any candles here, so I had been recommending in my prior videos that if you were going to trade this in this range, you had opportunities to buy here at the lows when price did dip down outside the Wyckoff trading range, right? And if you didn't do that yet, again, look for this to set up, look to see how deep this retraces. But just, you know, an easy way to look at this is you could always throw on a trend line and trade a breakout. But again, this may be a deeper retracement. You'll have other candles to choose from. Or this may be a higher retracement where price simply does something like this. You have that candle, and then you get something like this, sideways, and then it just starts going up, okay? So this is another way you can trade it, like I showed you on natural gas. You can use a candle, or I mean a trend line or a ray to do a breakout order, okay, to do a trigger order, a buy order for a breakout to the upside. One advantage of doing trigger orders, I do them quite often, especially with Bitcoin, because I can't sit there and monitor it all day, is if price does do something like this and doesn't hold this base and just does this, your orders never hit, right? So since you're not in profits, if you're not in a trade, you know, this is a way to protect yourself that requires more upside, more momentum up for this order to get hit. So it's just another way to look at trading, guys. And let's go ahead and look at some of these indicators here on this time frame. Let's go ahead and throw the Ichi on here. And you can see we did penetrate into the cloud. And again, like I said previously, this is exactly what I want to see on the 8-hour. Walking up the Gann line and then a breakout to the upside, okay? So this was all predicted, what we've been looking for the last 2 weeks, a breakout into this trading range. And notice this was your up thrust before that failed, and now you have a solid breakout. Now we just need some more candles, and we need to hold this range, okay? That's what the next step is to see if that can happen. And let's go ahead and turn Ichi off, and let's look at our VWAP trading strategy and see where these lines are coming in at. I'm going to pull this down. So there's my 144 that is descending. Here's my 233 and 200. These are, and here's your heavy supply line. Your heavy supply line on the 8-hour time frames at 35,944. Remember, I want to see at least that 618, 34,798. And it's worth flipping back to the weekly, because as you can see on the weekly for the first time in Bitcoin's history, ever since the 7th candle, it's never had 7 weekly red candles. Now you had 8, now you had 9. So you set records 3 weeks in a row, and now you have a blue candle. And those targets on the weekly, guys, if this bear rally does stay positive for the NASDAQ and the SPX, even though they have massive volume divergences forming right now, those targets are 40,694, 45,438, and you know, the Hail Mary, 50,182, if you can come up that high, would be absolutely amazing. Why? Because this ride down would be that much more profitable. You have pumps, you'd have dumps, and you'd have this ride back down, okay? So that's why. And let's look at, do we want to see anything else on the 8-hour? Let's look at the 4-hour time frame. So we were tracking this quite closely on the 4-hour. Now, this is an issue, right? You're 200 and 233. We spent a lot of time on the 4-hour time frame going over how these trades can be very profitable in descending markets, okay? Descending markets, your 200 and 233 can give you massive trades if you are in a bearish market. Now, we were long overdue in the equities markets for a bear rally. So even though they have volume divergence, right? Very bearish volume divergence, they still could have more legs. Companies are buying, the stock buyback blackout period's over. Companies are buying back stock. A lot of people are bullish in the media. These portfolio managers, they're selectively picking their assets. The rally could have some legs, guys. And just to refresh your memory, we looked at this. Let me show you on the SPX because it's more pronounced. If you look at the volume on the SPX, right? Look at a declination in volume. I mean, look how small these volume bars are as price is rising, volume divergence. This to me should still have more legs. I'm looking for the SPX to get up to 43.43 here at the 1 fib. And if it's not quite there, 43.10, right in this area. So I'm looking for this pullback and it'll settle. Then I'm looking for that pump up and try to get to that 43.10 area. And then looking for that rollover. And if it has more legs, even better, guys. I want these markets to pump as high as they can possibly pump, okay? More money for the upside and then more money for the downside coming down. Volatility is king for trading. 4-hour time frame structurally looks good, right? You have your breakout candle here. You have supply being dumped on you, looking to form a cup type pattern. But your 200 and 233 are descending. 32.5 and then roughly 32.991. This is your first key test, okay? So if Bitcoin is able to hold this higher low structure and come up like this, you need to see it break out and flip these, maybe back test them and then move up again, okay? 34.798 would be your next target after 32.991. And these are going to keep descending as Bitcoin stays down here. So this will be really interesting to see because this could be a short run. It could be something like that and then right back down, which would be very disappointing. But it is a possibility and you got to be aware of all possibilities when you're trading. So let's look and see if anything's different. I'll wrap this video up. So on a 4-hour time frame, your volatility is expanding. You see that? So you can get a much wider channel, but it is starting to expand. This is saying the RSX is saying that you are overbought right now. So we're going to see this wave back down, which makes sense because you're going to wave back down for your cup. And then we'll see how this plays out, guys. We'll know more tomorrow. The USA will be more online. The holiday will be over. And we'll see what the funds are doing, what the banks are doing, and how they are manipulating crypto for a Tuesday. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. And another video coming tomorrow. Take care, everybody. I'll answer your questions and comments in the YouTube comments section. All right, guys. Talk soon.